Welcome back and welcome new viewers. For whatever reason, I don't know what I touched, but I began with the black and white. So I'm going to try to get my color back. Here we go. I'm at no filter. So welcome new viewers. And I am about to start sewing for Petite Blythe, as you can see here. And I am going to, I have all these colors here. Let me see here. I don't know why I have this here. How can I fix this? Let me give me a second, because this all these colors are bothering me. I won't be able to see what I'm sewing. So it just seems that every time that I'm doing a live stream, it's one thing after another. So I don't know how to make this go away. Okay, what do I need to do here? Let's see. I am trying. I don't know. See, there it is, the black. I don't want to stop this, so I am just going to have to start doing the recording or the sewing with all these faces here. Oh, there we go. I did it. My goodness, I just touched something else here. So I'm about to get started. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties here for me. And let me get started by showing you. I have this wonderful tiny little print and have it right next to Blythe so that we can get an idea of what it's going to look like. And it has the tiniest, look at my finger, it has the tiniest, I wonder why the camera is doing that. So it has the tiniest of little print. That is one, and I'm going to bring the other one so that you can see it. I have the color of orange and purple. Here's the other one. I cut it where we have the little bats right there. And when I'm recording, I get to see very dark. After when it's, or maybe on your end it's light, or you can see it the way it is. I don't know why that happens. Maybe it's what I'm using. So if anybody does live, let me know if that's the case with you. But it's kind of hard for me to see here. There, that's good. Maybe it's my phone. Maybe that's all there is. So I'm going to start. Oh man, why does this happen? So I'm going to start. I think the phone is dying, honestly. So I'm going to move my girls to the side, and here are pieces. Here's the orange, and this is going to be like a little neck, the little neck part, and the skirt. I'm using the edge of the material so I don't have to fold it. So that's the good thing about using the edge. The bad thing about using the edge is that, let me see, there you see, we have the little dots within the fabric. You really can't see, but I know it's there, so I'll be doing that. So let's get started. And this is the little sleeves right here. So, and the back. I made this pattern myself. I did a video last year, I think, where I did a do-it-yourself pattern for Petite Blythe. I will put it on my community board if anybody's interested, how to go about and do your own pattern for a Petite Blythe doll. So this is being sewn with the loose thread, and that's going to make it easy for me to gather. And then right after this, we're going to get started with sewing the dress. Oh, I thought I lost it, so give me a second here. So happy Monday. We are sewing on a Monday. And if you hear some noise, that is the fan going on. I need it to be comfortable for me. It is September 11th, and here, or probably in other places, it's when it is the hottest in September. I remember going to school, and I went to a Catholic school and a Catholic high school, and we had to wear not cotton, wool skirts, and they were pleated. So there, not only was it a skirt, it was double skirt, double heavy. And oh my goodness, I just didn't like it. I hated it. I thought it was because I was out and about during the summer and I had to be in a room full of students, and I thought that I was not used to being in a room after being out all summer long, and I thought of it as confinement. And I am having trouble here trying to give you a story while I'm doing this. So yeah, that was they would open the window. It wasn't until later that I realized that it is the hottest time of the year here in California, LA, in the LA area. But boy, I remember that. And I had my skirt, not the length, because it was like past the knee, actually, the factory skirt. I did make it short, but not as short as most girls. I think I kept it at my knee or just slightly above the knee. I don't ever think it was ever slightly over the knee. So there is my skirt. We're going to gather that later on. So let's get started. I am going to start with the little top. And do you see here, it has little darts. I cut it so that it would be easy for me to show you. Here we go. So I cut it here. What you do if you're going to be doing the pattern is you fold it in there, and just ever so close right after, let's see here, right after the middle. If you're doing the pattern, just cut it in here, and then the other one, cut it at a slant. So first you cut it like this and at a slant. That's for you if you want to do this. Do your own pattern. So now I am tightening and it's so tiny. So that's tip number 1 if you want to do your pattern. So tip number 2, we're going to be sewing ever so close. So I'm going to bring you all the way in here and put the light. And my eyes got adjusted to the dark screen of the phone while I'm recording. So here I am, and it is so very close. So you're almost sewing blind, to be honest. Okay, so here is one that's been done. Let's do the other. And it is so minute, it's so tiny, but it does make a difference actually. So there I am. All right. I gotta let it go a little bit, the thread that is. Otherwise, I'm gonna have the same problem. So there we go. See that? How cute that is? And that's the effect that you get by that dart. So now I am going to sew. I'm going to do the orange. Orange is one of my favorite colors. It is, but now as an adult, I like all colors. As a as when I just realized what my favorite color was. It was red and wine. That was my favorite color growing up. Everything that I had was either red or wine color. Isn't that so cute? So we're going to do the other one, and when you're doing that, uh, just make sure you have the little curve. It's going to match the other curve, which happens to be the the part for the sleeve. Oop, I sewed a little bit too much in here. See that? I felt it moving. So let me do this here. And I'm going to take it. Um, for Petite Blythe doll or tiny dolls, 11 centimeters. Uh, they are 4 inches. Uh, any any little move, any movement, any sewing does make a big difference. And I'm going to take that one out. And let's look at the other. See how close it is? We're probably talking 1/8 of an inch there. Just, you're going to be sewing as close to the edge as you can. All right, see, that was 3 stitches for the little area over here. So this is so cute. It's coming along just adorable. And now we are going to be doing the sleeve. I could put some lace in here, but let me just do one. Let me just do one without lace, and this one I'm going to hem it over. Okay, I need to use this so that my big finger is not in the way. Okay, and now for the other one. So one of the things that, besides learning in Catholic school, we were always put in the front of the class to speak. So I was never afraid, even at that age, in grade school or high school, I was never afraid to speak in front of the class. The class was not big. It was just normal. And in grade school or high school, there was not that many. And when I had my daughter and my children, all 4 of them in Catholic school and even high school, my daughter's class was, I think it was 30 or 50. I think it was 50 total. 50 students in the class. Everybody knew everybody, just like I did. And the great thing about going to school in the 80s, I got to use my locker all 4 years. Okay, so we are getting to the area of the sleeve here, and I am concentrating at the middle and moving it along. It would be kind of okay if you want to base this and sew this by hand with the needle and thread, but if you do that, and I have done that, it's actually more difficult if you have it sewn in there, because what's going to happen is that this area is going to be kind of like bunched up close together, and it's harder. This way it's open, and you're trying to get it in piece by piece. So that's what I'm trying to do right now, and I am looking at the edge. Here's the edge, and that's the edge of the sleeve. So I'm trying to coordinate it to be together, and so it's not too far out one or the other. So what I'm doing is gathering right here I'm trying to hold it in place with a little gather, and then kind of force it in, and I have my finger between the foot, and then just, so you're going to see a little gather there. Okay, so there we go. These little corners, oh, and it happens to be in the middle, I mean in the front. So right over here, I have like this piece trying to get out. So I'm going to try to find it right there and push it back out, because after using this, maybe we're going to have the edge and it's going to start to fray. So I'm going to fix that piece. So when you're sewing for Petite Blythe, you really need to be calm. You need to be at a calm place, because it's no wonder if you could, let me be funny about it, you could lose your mind. So, and like I commented to somebody about the Petite, I literally sew Petite Blythe. I'm going on average, I'm literally sewing once every 3 years, because it's so time consuming. And for me, time is money, because I sew to feed my pets, my dogs, and, you know, buy me some dolls, but primarily it's for their purpose of their food, and trying to have a reserve for the veterinarian. Right now, my dog, I'm giving her, and I hope you're not grossed out about this, I'm giving her, she's getting dewormed, so, and she's 14 years old, so I want to give her comfort. So there is one sleeve. Let's do the other. So let's try it this way. What we can do, it's going to be difficult if you do it this way, but let's try it like this. I'm going to pin the end, and I'm going to pin the middle, and this is what I was talking about, that it is harder, because now I'm going to have, or if you try to do it this way, these little elements in the way. So it's forced in, and we are talking about such a tiny little area. This is the part where it's going to be hard, trying to get this right here. So it just does not work. I'm going to have to release it right there. This just does not work. It's better just to go ahead, because now I'm going to be sewing at a blind spot. So sorry, I tried to do it, but it just does not work when you force on Petite Blythe, when you force the patterns to stay together. You just have to wing it, and you have to do it. So now I'm going to use this, and this is about the most difficult area, and because we are giving her sleeves. Have you noticed that most Blythe dresses don't have sleeve? And I'm talking about 12-inch Blythe. And I'm not even talking about middle Blythe. So just trying to do this on Petite Blythe, you're seeing me do this on a snail pail. A snail, what's the word? A snail scale. So, one by one, literally. One stitch stroke by stitch stroke, and I am maneuvering here, but it looks so adorable when Petite Blythe has sleeves. And what I'm doing right now is I'm massaging it, and this is the part where I had trouble on the other one, that it kind of got what's the word, it, you know, got gathered in together. So there, I have it at a good spot, and I'm going to sew it all the way through. Alright, so let's do the assessment. This is what happened. It kind of got gathered there. It jumped, and it doesn't look too bad. So let's see. See, you can see it right there. So we're just going to adjust this. There. There we go. This needs to be like that. Sorry. See that? That little extra space? So I need to take that out. So let's start at the middle. Need to make sure. I mean, for the other one, I'm gonna try to ease it. Okay, it'll be easier if I do it from this section. Believe me, it's gonna come out so cute, and you will need to be on calm mode when you try this out. All right, it looks good. And let's see the other one. Okay, this is a little bit gathered, but it's okay. So now for the collar, I'm going to use the collar, and I'm going to use tulle. And let me show you how to go out that. This is going to be the fold part, and then I'm going to do the sides right there. I mean, I could do the side now. All right, let's see here. What happens with me is that when I'm doing cotton, my machine kind of like, and especially right now that it's at a tight stitch here. I'm going to sew that part right there. So the hardest part is done, which is the sleeves and the neck. The neck is this right here. This is not going to be as hard as the sleeve. The sleeve was pretty hard. But like I was saying, have you seen, or do you see that many Blythe dresses with sleeves? That's because it is hard. And now I'm going to fold this over. There is so little fabric that you have, so just having it here on your nail, on your hand, or your finger is just, it's going to be a hassle just trying to hold it. I'm going to measure this on the dress so that before I sew it into place. I think it's too big. Let's see here. Let's do it on a fold. Okay, we're going to do this on a fold. Okay, it happens to be good. And this part right here, I'm going to do the tulle and ease this up. Get this ready for us. Using tulle is for me the easiest and best thing to do for tight areas like this, where you know you're going to need to fold. Okay, I'm getting my stuff in here. I'm going to do this so that I don't sew in the back. I don't want to see a stitch, and I'll show you right now in a second. It's just nicer and cleaner. And this is the back. Oh no. I was careful the other times. It will literally take me an hour to do one petite dress. And I will be truthful. For a beginner, it will take a solid 3 hours to make a petite dress. So I'm just saying, so that your expectations are ready and you don't get discouraged. So there, this is the back, and that's what I wanted to do with the tool. See there? Now I'm going to do the other one. And these are nice little tricks. Little, oh, what did I do with my tool? Little tips for you to use. And it makes it look so nice, and you don't have to have too much trouble doing these little folds because they are small. Okay, now I'm going to fold it. And what I'm doing is sewing it here just to keep it in place. Oh, here comes my cat. I literally have to, I want to see how long it takes for them to come. Like, it's been too long. It's been long enough that I'm not with them, or I don't go see them. Because it's a lot cooler downstairs than it is here in my room. So that is that back. So there we have the side finish. And oops, like I mentioned, this should be enough here. And normally this would be at a fold when you're sewing it. So just imagine trying to sew this. So this is easier. It's easier to have it like this. It's easier to have the tool. And or you can use more fabric. And let me see here. I'm just prepping this up. Okay, there's a little neck. And I'll be very careful to make sure that it is even. You don't want to have one side bigger than the other. So let's do a practice run here. Okay. Let's do a practice run. And I will ease the fabric. Alright, so it looks like it's going to be just perfect. So I'll start here. Oh, and I will ease this, like I said. Need a little bit of help. Okay. So right here we can put the pin to hold it in place. So first, I start with both edges. Kind of like get it ready. Okay. And I'm kind of massaging it here to hold it. Alright. Oops. Oh my goodness. Ow! I just got pricked. I was trying to avoid for my pin cushion not to fall. It's a hat. And, okay, there we go. And I did get pricked. So just want to make sure that I have all the easement that I need, not too much. Okay, here we go. And let's do this. When I'm done, I'm going to stitch it over here on the end so it doesn't, so that the thread does not unravel. I hope you can see that. So I'm going to be going slow here, stitch by stitch. And because I put the pins there and I moved the neck out, I am hoping I do not have any gathering there. So this is, I'm going to have to measure, this is about an inch and a quarter of space that we're sewing all these little pieces together. So it's almost 2 inches. We are almost done here. We just went through the hardest part of doing Petite Blythe, and this is categorized as advanced because of the sleeves. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit here. And look at how precious that is. So now I'm going to put the sleeves together and the little bodice together. Not much room, let me tell you. We are talking about just barely like a quarter of space between the two sections, each section it being a quarter. So it is very important to, this definitely has to be pinned together, and this is the reason why I fixed the side. And it's very important that you have these two connections, which is the armpit, together. So now we're going to sew the sleeve ever so carefully, and I am basically hugging the edge too, because you don't want to take too much because then we want to make sure that the little hand can go through. And I'm not kidding when I say that we're literally sewing blind here. So let me cut this. This right here is an excess, and it's going to be bulky. So we want to cut it as close as possible. I'm dying to see what it looks like, but the reason why I gathered the skirt is so that we can go through this part quickly. If you sew for your dolls, let me know if when you get to a certain point you just want to do it very quickly, because you're so excited. I'm also excited. I'm also excited to see what this is going to look like. Okay, here we go. I'm going to hold that in place, and all this little fuzz thread does confuse me. So, and I'm stating that so that you know that all this extra, oh, I hope I don't lose my thread. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go slow because I have my pin there and I don't want to ruin my needle, my sewing needle. So let's cut all this little stuff out. And I'm going to cut that out here. I'm being very careful not to cut into what I just sewed. Oops. And now we're going to turn this inside out. And I'm trying to take all this extra thread too. It's like it's coming out of everywhere. And I am thinking of sewing this in place here. And I think it's a good idea to have the sleeves there. And this is just to keep it down. Alright, so I have everything there. There. This is going to help to keep that in place. Oh no, our thread is unraveling, so let me do this one more time. Alright, it's not going to unravel now. And let me check the other one while I'm at it. Okay, is the other one okay? Okay, it looks like it's unraveling too, so let's sew that one too. I'm going to double sew it. Alright. Alright. This is so tiny. It's always difficult in anything to turn things inside out, so I'm going to be doing this very gently. And I'm doing it very gently so it doesn't bottleneck. I should have some tweezers for this. So if we have tweezers, this would be a good time to be using the tweezers. Okay, I have a good handle of this one already. So it's doing some movement. There we go. Look how teeny tiny this is. Alright, that's one. So now for the other one. So I'm doing this very carefully so it doesn't bottleneck here. I don't want to tug in there, and I definitely don't want to get the fabric all bunched up in there. So here we go. There is a little top. So now for the skirt. Let's see here. Let's have a sneak peek. I think we all deserve it. Oops. I had it in there and it went away. Here she is. She's awake. I'm being so gentle because I don't want to break her arm. They're so old and frail. There we go. We have such a small little area to dress these girls. And here it is. Here's the top. And I think the little, here we go. See if I can put her arm down. There we go. This part right here is where we're going to be sewing the little skirt. And this is the back right here. So now, oops, she just lost her head. So now I'm going to take this away and put the skirt in here. I'm looking to see how much I need to gather this. Oh, and before I do that, I'm going to, let me see here. I'm going to gather it here and then fold it over. And this is basically preparing it because we don't have that much room. And it might as well be ready just to sew on. So I need to make sure that I get all the skirt gathered that I'm going to be needing. And there's a little skirt. And I think I'm going to have to sew this by hand because it's so tight, but let's give it a try. And I'm going to put the pin like this much far away because we're going to be sewing right around there. Let's see. Okay, so I am far away to where I'm going to be putting my sewer foot, and I'm placing the skirt in here. And I'm going to need to sew facing the gather because I need to make sure that I'm not overlapping on these very beautiful creases. Okay, so the preparation is everything. There we go. Now for sewing. Okay, now I'm going to move this because I'm going to be going back and forth here. Okay, so now it's, the game is to position this here. Hold on here. All right. Let's see. I'm putting the creases there, getting them actually second prep over here, so that when I put the foot down, we're going to be sewing. And again, this is so that the pleats don't get pressed over. Like, I have them standing up like this, and I don't want them to be flat. Because when they get flat, they get piled up. And on the outside, you don't get to see the beautiful little pleats. Okay, hopefully all the pleats are in a very nice position here. Oh my goodness, look how cute this is. The tiniest little dress here. So now I'm going to be cutting this, because there is plenty of fabric here that needs to be cut, and it's also very bumpy. And I'm being very extra careful not to cut into what we just sewed. And I'm not going to sew this, I'm not going to sew the skirt together in the back, because it's going to be taking from the available space to put the dress on the doll. Oops. And here we have it. I need to press this down. Look at the cute little pumpkins. Let's dress up the other one. I'm just afraid to break my Petite Blythe. And let me show you. I was being very careful with her because she's literally falling apart. Let me just show you. She's literally falling apart, and I've had other Petite Blythe that have broken on me. So here it is, and I'm going to be putting a bead, a pearl bead, in the back. Okay, the only thing about that, she has a lot of hair. So right over here, I'm going to be putting a bead, and let's see here. Let me see if I have enough thread. Oh, I don't know. I may have. So let me show you how I go about doing the loop. So I want to position this down so it stays down. I hope I have enough. So first, what I do is I sew it, and then I do a second sew. So I have, oops, I have this loop, and I count 12 loops. I don't know, hopefully I do. So there we go. It's such a tiny area, so bear with me. So now I'm going to get this part here and start the loop. And the first one, I want to get it nice and tight. Get it nice and tight there. Oops. And that's number 1. So here comes number 2. And her hair is in the way, so let's see if we can just turn her head so that we can see this. So that's number 2. And I have very little thread, so that's why I'm struggling too. So there's loop number 3. Tightening it. Four. Five. All right, 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. And oops. And 12. It is so tight. All right, so we're gonna do 12 by closing it. So I went ahead and closed it. So now I'm going to put it right here, and the thread's gonna follow me. And close it again. So I don't have a lot of thread, so I'm going to finish it like this right here. And there is the loop. I'm going to close it here. I didn't have another thread with a lot. It would have been a lot easier. But there it is. Next thing to do, add the pearl or the bead. I would say it's like a 4mm. And here is the loop. So I'm going to get the pearl, put it in here, and it's going to do the connection for our doll. And here we have her in her brand new little Halloween dress. Sorry for moving so much around. Here we go. I'm going to do this one live and do the other one off camera because it's almost time for me to pick up my little grade schoolboy and then start my tutoring with reading and math. So thank you very much for joining me. It's almost going to be an hour, and it was a treat. This is, I think, the cutest one because it has the little pumpkin in there. Isn't this so adorable? Great colors. And let me see. I don't have it handy. Maybe I do. Let's do a pumpkin for her, okay? Let's do the little jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. So what you need to do if you want to do this is go out and see if you can find these lights. Let me see if they're handy. Okay, I got it. And I need to find me, I'm going to turn, oops, that's me moving, try to be gentle here. I'm going to turn on the hot glue gun because we're going to do the jack-o'-lantern. So just give me a minute and I will show you how to, or how I do my jack-o'-lantern. Alright, so I just turned it on. It's going to take a little while to heat up. And I am looking for the felt. I use felt to, here's a piece here. I use felt for the little strap. And for Petite Blythe, this is how much I use. It's 2 inches. And I don't want it to be too thin, because if it's too thin, any movement is going to, let me see if I can pull this up, because we're going to be doing something else. Any movement is going to pull it and break it. So here we go. So this is going to be our strap, like this. Waiting for the hot glue gun to get hot. And we're going to make a little jack-o'-lantern. So what I have is this Halloween lights right here. I already took one out. So let's take another one out. All you have to do is find these lights and pop them out. There we go. And this is our little jack-o'-lantern for our little Petite Blythe. So it's getting hot. I don't recommend that for, if there's any kids watching, I do not recommend that for you to touch it. I'm just anxious because we're on live and I want to do this. So I got 1 drop in there. So it is hot because it's goozing out. So what you want to do is put it in the inside. Be very generous because you want it to hold. You're not going to be using this. Well, maybe you are if you take it apart and clean this. But just be prepared not to be using this anymore as your lighting. And get whatever rod. I'm going to be using this rod to push it in. Oops. Push it in fast. And all that extra hot glue gun is going to hold it in place. And try to do it in this way so that the doll's hand will fit there and you will have it facing this way. So put it positioned this way. And there you have it, a little jack-o'-lantern. So now I'm going to be putting this at my coffee shop with another little freebie, another little dress probably. So this is going to be the listing for the dress and jack-o'-lantern. Hi, we just made this. Did you get to see this, Marna? So there it is. Ah, thank you. Look, we just got done. We just did the jack-o'-lantern and we're done. I am done making this petite dress. Look how adorable and cute that is. She's ready to go trick-or-treating. So thank you for joining me, everybody. And did this right now, not even thinking about it, but we just did the jack-o'-lantern. Now you know what to look for and make your own for your little dolls. This is great for Petite Blythe, and it's also great for Middle Blythe. So let's see, Middle Blythe is going to borrow this, and it looks just perfect on her. There you go. Thank you everybody for joining me, and don't forget, don't get frustrated. Sewing for Petite Blythe, and especially tight areas like the collar and the little sleeves is very tedious. It's basically, I'm going to give this advanced mode. If you're going to be doing this, just take your time. You can do it. We'll see you in the next video. Bye everybody.